All right, so we are set.
Uh,
Charlie, good evening,
Yes,
guys. Seth, new Charlie, you most welcome. Maybe this will be a way.
Thank you, Charlie.
Yes,
You
yes,
there
Nyame
yes,
inside?
Adom,
yes.
Nyame
Yeah,
Adom.
Charlie.
We there inside. We very cool. We very
Yes, we
cool.
thank God.
You see,
It's been it's been day 4, day 5 after the World Cup, right?
yeah, our system now is slow because
I
no soccer action, nothing is
understand.
going on. Yeah, so right now I'm already missing the start of the major league season.
Yeah,
So
preseason
Premiership,
will
yeah.
start. Preseason will start very soon.
No, preseason, some way, some way. I mean, it's fine, but it's some way,
Mm,
some way.
mm.
My you the same. Almost is some first preseason. Yeah, you can't really judge whether a bit cool or
That's it.
not.
Okay.
It's just or not. But
Mm.
my you them say son of the go.
Yeah, same. So, Charlie,
Same.
are you missing the game already? Just after the World Cup, 4 days, Newsy or Messi? What about you?
Oh, obviously you are going to miss it, but transfer season and all the moves there are keeping us like active. And
Yeah,
then there's also other sports.
active.
Me share all other sports into me.
Okay,
My switch following NBA and other things.
Yeah.
I get it. So, Charlie, you have gone straight to business, and just about like I said, 4 days after the World Cup, but before the World Cup, Donald Trump, the president of America. In fact, people contacted him, journalists contacted him. They wanted to seek his opinion just after the World Cup. Say, how did the World Cup go? And according to him, I'll say the World Cup is the best ever tournament that FIFA has organized. And they also went to Gianni Infantino for his opinion as well. And Infantino, surprisingly, yes, I know he's a politician. Also saying that, Charlie, it was something successful as far as he's known the World Cup. This has been the biggest and the most successful World Cup ever. I'm looking at the fact that 3 countries hosted it. That is Canada, Mexico, and United States of America. So for him, it has been a success. Let us begin from you. First of all, your impression you saw from day one. You even went to the stadium in order together with Seth as well. From day one to the last day of the Mundial. For you, was it a success? And if it was, how would you rate it?
Yeah, I think in many ways it was a success.
Okay.
If you look at it from FIFA's point of view, there are two people who you said are rating it as success. It's truly success to
So
them, right?
who
Yeah,
am I?
especially
Who
if you
am
look at the
I?
economic side of things. Who am I to say it was a failure? ọmọ ayé ọmọ adé no ọmọ enye sika no mu ọmọ enjoy fine me a small potato. How can I say that it was a failure? so yeah, from the economic side of things, I think it was a success
Okay.
because once the ticketing started in, you had to join a queue
Yeah.
to go to FIFA's platform and then enter the queue and then select the matches you want to buy tickets for. You had to buy
Okay.
only a maximum of 4, and then even that was not automatic. It was going to be some kind of a draw,
Okay.
and then after that, if you are picked, then you pay for the tickets.
Mhm.
So that was the initial. Just after the draw, there were a number of rounds where ticketing was available. There were some issues.
Mm.
Already, the price was looking like it was going to be a very expensive World Cup for fans because coming off the back of Qatar and then some of the World Cup that has happened in Europe, comparing it to America, already the price levels for basic tickets were looking like it was going to be very expensive.
Mm.
And so people were not so very optimistic as to whether people were going to travel all the way to America, to Canada, to Mexico, looking at the pricing of the tickets,
Okay.
right? So right from the first go, people were looking out for whether there are going to be empty seats within the stadiums for some matches, especially because even with the 32 32 team World Cup, you always have that Saudi Arabia game, a South Korea game, or some matches that are not high profile matches.
Exactly. I get
and
it.
we've always seen very empty seats in those World Cup. But interestingly, regardless of the pricing of the tickets, and you know that the ticket was also dynamically priced in that as the matches were getting closer, whenever you go to the FIFA website, you see that based on the demand, the ticket will either be going up or coming down, and usually it will be the upward direction. And so people were not so sure whether, especially those who are watching on TV, whether people were actually going to go for it. But World Cup is World Cup. It's for many people, for many fans, is once in a lifetime opportunity. So once it has come to America, Canada, and then Mexico, people had already saved. And if you want to contrast it in terms of how Ghanaians we do our things versus how these other football nations, the South Americans, the Europeans, how they do their football and how their supporters follow football. Now that we are done with this World Cup, some of the fans have already started planning towards the next World Cup.
Exactly.
They start saving towards it, right?
Yeah.
So people had already saved for it. So those price hikes were not going to deter them. People had already booked flights for it like years ahead of time. People had already secured visas for it, even before the current immigration climate, which kind of made it a bit difficult for a lot of fans, especially people from the African countries, some African countries, who had been banned by the US from traveling to the US. But regardless of that, there were people who were already in the States, in Canada, and in Mexico who already had secured their visas or who were already living in those countries and were going to go for it. So if you look at the economic side of it, just by looking at or watching matches on TV, and not even a single match recorded a below average attendance, that is already a success, right? But it doesn't take the fact away from it doesn't take the fact away that it was actually an expensive World Cup because it was held in 3 countries. Even if it was only being held in America, it's a very vast country, right? And the distances between some of the host cities meant that even traveling between matches was going to be very expensive. I was watching some fans talking about the experience, and some fans spent as much as $30,000 just to cover the World Cup. If you were going to watch just one match and it included traveling, you would not spend less than $1,000. So regardless of the fact that it was highly patronized, it was still an expensive World Cup.
Exactly.
And I don't think that FIFA should go on this tangent. I know that is a difficult ask for them because now that they've tried 3 nations World Cup and it has worked, I know that the next World Cup is also going to be multiple nations, which means that it's going to be very difficult for fans again logistically. But all in all, from the economic side of things, I say that it was very successful World Cup happening in North America.
So High Priest, according to Derek New, he said that it's a successful one. I don't know about you. Look, he was looking at the economic side, but bringing down to Ghana and even Africa, we knew that some of fans were not even allowed to enter United States of America. Even the Senegalese fans, some of Ghanaian fans were not even allowed one way or the other, and even our government said that it was, helping us with the tickets right from the group stage. And into me and to us because we had to play the round of 32 games and all that with that is Colombia. And Derek went to the stadium. He realized that the population of Ghanaian or the Ghanaian fan section was very, very low. How would you also rate it? I'll be coming back to Derek for his ratings, proper ratings. If he is thinking that it's a success on the economic side of things, with the social I mean, political aspect and even the African aspect and all that, how would you also rate it?
I mean, so yeah, I think Derek has mentioned why,
Okay.
like, of course, like FIFA and then Trump will call it like the most successful World Cup. I mean, you expect that from Trump, into yeah, yeah, they catch you. I don't understand of a Canadian, you know, like, unim sa papa now, like, Libya, no, a fan who be the best thing ever.
Exactly.
So,
You take it with
politicians.
a pinch of salt, yeah.
Yeah.
So anything that and can find home, like
Mhm.
no matter what happened, Obeka is the best thing ever.
Mm.
So yeah, economically in terms of rich and all those things, like Neil has covered it.
Yeah.
Like if you expand it to 48 countries, obviously now 40 like 12, like I mean 16 other countries are typically they wouldn't even participate and are participating.
Yeah.
So there's a difference when you are watching it on TV and then now your country is in there. So that drives more of the attention in the people that are in the diaspora and all those things. There's lots of international people in the US, right? Like from different countries.
Yeah.
It's obviously the most successful country in the world economically. So everybody has their people coming in here. So that's why the whole World Cup shifted. America is very developed economically. People have the means to go. Sports economy in America is the biggest compared to any other place. People are used to paying high prices for things. So it was not going to really reflect in the way say the man for the Nkwankwo game. You know, if you have not watched your country, like you're a Canadian, you have not watched your country in a World Cup before, you have immigrated here, you go and watch.
Exactly.
So the setup was right for Infantino and what he's looking for the economic gains and all those things. There was no way that it was going to flop. That was not. But in terms of like the greatest World Cup, so the most successful, fine economically, but in terms of greatest World Cup, definitely not. Like even in recent times, 2022 World Cup was more iconic. We remembered great moments. That was when Messi eventually like got like the World Cup like trophy that he's done. Like we've seen 1970, the Pele team, like invincible, like just strolling through everything. Like West Germany against Italy. We've seen 1986 Maradona probably having the greatest World Cup performance ever. Like in terms of like the football play now, even in recent times, 2022 is better because Morocco even did better than what they did here. So like a surprising factor, we had Saudi Arabia beating Argentina, surprising Argentina. We had Morocco making it to the semifinals. We had a better final game, 3-3 game, where it was like more cagey and all those things. So the sporting side of it, it is not the greatest. But from the economic side of it, obviously, we made enough money. And Infantino thinks that, I mean, after this, we increase prices, no cry. Where they are, like people will go. And that's what I think the mistake that he's doing, that as it shifts around, the ability of the American economy to support some of these tickets are very different from when he shifted to Europe. Like it will not be the same. So he should be very careful how he thinks about it going forward. That he thinks he can price it up high and then make money.
Okay, so your ratings over 10. How would you do it, Seth? From 1 to 10, this particular World Cup.
I mean, I'll give it an 8. Like it was good. I enjoyed it. Like expansion helped. We got like many other countries to come in there. Even people that didn't care about the sports in the US were all trying to get on board. So like I'll give it an 8. But like I've seen better ones. If I give the 86, 70 and 2022 ones like 9 or 10, I can't give this like
a 10.
A 10.
Okay, all right. So 70 is still, or 7 is still a pass mark. Neil, what about you? Would you want to place it in your top 3?
No, I can't place it in my top 3.
So which are your top 3 World Cups that you see?
So personally, you know, at the beginning of the show or this series, we talked about previous World Cups that we've watched. We had one episode that we talked about, which was your first ever World Cup that you remember watching, right? Not the one that you want to. You went to watch the replays or the YouTube ones. Like you actually watched it live, and I said that the France '98 one is so far is the one that lives with me as one of the best World Cups because then I could understand the game. I could watch.
Appreciate
I
it.
knew some of the tactics, appreciate it. I knew the players. I could link them to their clubs and then all that. And aside that, like they were very great players in that World Cup. We saw what Zidane did.
Yeah,
We saw Henry was even young.
sure.
The Ronaldo of Brazil was at his peak at that time. Um, uh, uh, Croatia has Devosuka,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Denmark had Ebasan.
Mm.
Italy had all these
You're talking about
powerful
even
defenders.
Denmark Lodrop. I remember like the Lodrop guys.
Exactly.
Yeah. Charlie.
Yeah, Germany had the Beerhoffs and then the Mullers, right? The older Mullers,
Yeah.
and then all that. So, like Netherlands has the Seedorf,
Yes.
right? So, I think for me, just because that is the World Cup that kind of I really appreciated from growing up to appreciating football, appreciating players, tactics, and then all that. I'll put it as my first one, right? The second between Brazil and then Germany. I don't know
206.
which one to put second. Yeah, 206.
Okay.
Because the 206 was like such a really well organized World Cup. So far, I don't think anyone has had any bad experience about the 206 World Cup. It was really organized. The technology had stepped up a bit, right, from the 2021. And then in terms of the quality of play and the quality of goals that we saw in Germany, it was really wonderful.
Yeah.
Messi had just broken into the national team, and so that was his first World Cup with the Argentina, coming on as a very young boy. So that was really nice. But 2014, just because it went to the home of, let me say, football, right?
Yeah.
A World Cup in Brazil has a lot of historical connotations,
Sure.
has a lot of there's relevance to it in terms of how it relates with people, right? When we talk about World Cup, but yes, there's the Africa's first ever World Cup in South Africa. You can also take it out. They found a way to kind of make make Vuvuzela take Vuvuzelas out of the game. After that, because it was very
Yes.
iconic,
A
all of
popular
a
feature.
sudden,
A popular feature in the yes.
a popular feature
Yeah.
of 2010. So yeah, if I look at that, this World Cup and then how I related to it and then how they were organized, the history, the relevance, some of the subplots around those World Cups. I don't think that I can put this World Cup above any of those, right? So it won't be even in my top three. And then again, this World Cup, even though, so first of all, it was expanded from 32 to 48, right? So of course, it meant more matches. I would say that unlike previous World Cups where you have very dull matches, I didn't think that we had a lot of dull matches here.
Yeah.
And this is the reason. The reason is that football has become very technical and almost mechanical, right? So, and that is, even though it is a plus because it made the matches more evenly matched up. So you have a Cape Verde drawing with Spain, you have a Cape Verde stretching Argentina to all the way extra time before they won, right? Even though that is how the World Cup was able to make the matches more evenly competitive, you realize that the games itself were not nice because now everybody is playing defensive, everybody is very careful, everybody is like very mechanical, like we all have wing play, five at the back, right? All as compared to previous World Cup where there's a lot of flair, there's a lot of expressiveness, you could see identities between each of the teams, right? You could see distinct team plays which were different from each other. If you see Germany playing, you see that Germany's play is different from Spain. You can see that it is different from France, and then you see the Africans, it is also different, right?
Yep.
But this World Cup, a lot of the teams were playing very similar to each other.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
just because now there's a lot of data when it comes to football, so everybody is using data, everybody is tracking runners, everybody is so just because football has become a bit more mechanical, because there's data available to every team, more tactical, it made sure that and set hinted that this time final we had a very cagey final, like very evenly, not evenly matched, but not
one team
so
decided not to
excited,
play.
right? One team decided not to play, one team was playing,
Of course,
right?
of course.
Compared to previous World Cup.
Yes, exactly.
So that is why, in terms of the football aspect of it, I'll rate it a bit lower than some of the previous World Cup that we've seen, just because the matches were more evenly matched. We didn't see more expressiveness.
So over 10,
right?
over 10.
The last
over
match,
10.
over 10, I'll give it 7.
7.
Right? Over 10, I'll give
Seth
it
is giving
7.
8.
Right?
You are giving 7.
Yes, just my last point on this. The last match that we saw versus between France and then England.
Okay.
There's that score line, that 6-4, how the match pan out, right?
Very excited.
That is what very excited.
Yeah.
We didn't see a lot of that throughout the World Cup, even though there were so many games. Like we could count games that were this exciting end to end. It was more tactical, mechanical. Everybody is afraid to move. Everything. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay, so 7 out of 10. Now let us go to the awards quickly. We have just about a minute each. But I said, let us go to the awards. I mean, people are talking about Rodri. He doesn't deserve it. We had Messi, who had splendid, performance at the World Cup. He scored about 8 goals. We are talking about Kylian Mbappe and even Jude Bellingham. And also Paul Kubasi getting the youngest player of the tournament. Look at the award scheme and how did it go for you? Do you think that Rodri deserves it?
100% deserves.
Okay.
I think we've moved away from like football and just like every time trying to look out for goals and things. Otherwise, then we might just look out for like the best forward.
Okay.
So I look at the games and I go like, what is the case for Rodri not deserving it? Because if you are going to look out for goals and assists, that is never his game.
Okay.
But when the games mattered most, especially in the crunch moment, I tell people like when it comes to like all of these like awards and things, it's usually in the final games and semi-final games where these awards are determined.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can score like 50 goals during like
the group
if you are out, nobody's going to remember you. When it got to the most important games, the team that are tipped to win, the France and then the Argentina, who was the most instrumental player that transformed the whole game? Like France couldn't even orchestrate anything. Their midfield was not existent because of how Rodri controlled it. He did the same thing against Argentina, and then our people's goat couldn't even have a shot on target. He was chasing shadows throughout the whole of the game. So it doesn't matter. Like even historically, like it's the decisive moment and who shows up and who controls the elements in those things that determine. So fair thing. Like I'm a Real Madrid fan. I loved Vini back in the days and all those things. I wanted Vini to win Ballon d'Or, but like when he didn't win, I'm like, yeah, it could have gone to Vini.
Yeah.
But that guy's impact in the game is extraordinary, and he needs to be rewarded for it. I don't think this is any debate apart from Messi fans hoping that they always get like this award. So for me, the awards were fair and like fully deserved.
Okay, fair, fully deserved. Neil, what about you? Fair, fully deserved for you? You don't want to talk about Mbappe?
Yeah,
you don't want to talk about Jude Bellingham?
I think I agree with. I think I agree with High Priest. This is one of the World Cups that the awards. People are trying to make controversy out of it, but I think this is one of the World Cups where the awards have been very fair. Right? We all remember the 2010 World Cup where Schneider and co did very good job, but then in the end, we
tough and chain. In the end, a tough and chain.
Darling boy,
darling boy, right? so I perfectly agree with it. Personally, I think that the best player should go to a player in the team that won the World Cup.
Okay.
I don't care what you did in the other games because because football is a collective and a team sport. And the tournament, the main aim of the tournament is for a team to win, right? What it means is that if the team is able to win, then we have to find who was instrumental within that team that helped them in winning it. So I'm always of the opinion that the best player should come from the winning team.
But
regardless
then
of what
sorry to cut you here. Then if you're doing that by extension, now Opposite say, I mean, somebody might not be able to play so well throughout the group stages and all that, but in the semifinals or in the final, the person pops up, get a brilliant games in these two, as said rightly said, in the semifinals and the final. Then voila, we give him the best player. Is that the way to go? In as much as I believe that, look, gone are the days the midfielders and the defenders were not recognized. I mean, in the scheme of things, I quite remember in 2006, I was very much happy when Cannavaro won it. But even so many pundits came out to say that it's because Zidane headbutted that Materazzi. That was the reason that they gave the best player to Cannavaro, because people knew that it was rightly going to Zinedine Zidane. But then the man was recognized. For me, this time around, it went to Rodri. I know you want to talk. So you want us to believe that. That they will give the best player to him. Is that the case?
I'm not sure Uncle will do fine.
That's the point.
No,
that's the point.
No, immediately you say that you believe to the point.
No, so yeah.
When was a setup made my question so light work for that? It's okay.
So meaning your question is a non-starter because and especially for this World Cup, we are talking about 7 games, right?
Yeah.
And you will be found out. You'll be found out if the team is not playing well, and if like the core members of the team are not playing well, you'll be found out.
Okay.
Like this is 7 games, right? So maybe let's take Spain.
Sometimes I think like because like when people talk about Messi and all those things, like Messi played as a forward, right?
Okay.
I mean, like goals, he was not the leading in goals and things like. I mean, he was not the leading in assists. He has. So think about all the players you are going to talk about and what they were supposed to do and what are the key things in their domain and whether they led. And let me read Rodri's stuff to you, and then you will see whether he deserved. Like he made like 756 completed passes. That is the most at the tournament and the highest since 1966, since Opta started recording the stats. He made 94 completed passes per 90. That was the first in the whole World Cup. He made 101 passes per 90. He was ranked number 1. 114 touches per 90 minutes. He was ranked number 1. 122 line breaking passes. He was tournament leading. 62 line breaking passes into the final third. He was tournament leading. 26 tackles. He was tournament leading. Ground ball success 63.3%. He was tournament leading. What again in his field did he not dominate? That's the thing. Like you talk about Mbappe, he led the goals. He was not the leading assist.
So then again, I understand you. I understand. Then again, how many of those passes led to an assist? That is another question that somebody might also ask. They are line breaking.
He's a CDM. He doesn't. Yes, but he's not required to do that. As a defensive midfielder, your job and the requirement is not to you make the pass that gets to the other person that makes the final pass. So if I'm not required to do something, then but Mr. Goalkeeper, they say, did he make an assist? I'm not supposed to make an assist. I'm not supposed to. I can only do well in the places that I am required to do.
Okay.
And so if I have led in every statistics that is in my area, that's the
okay.
So I agree. I agree with that.
So then you're wrapping up for us on that.
Yeah. So, and again, to the point that maybe a player will not play in the early stages and then will just pop up in the semi-final. That is where it matters. that quarterfinal, semi-final, that's where it matters.
If you let's tell Jordan, are you back? I say, also play Adriana.
That's where it matters. Because as for the first 3 matches, because for the first time in World Cup, at least after it expanded to 32 or let's say 16 onwards, you've had 2 teams qualifying to the knockout stages with just 3 points. And for one of the teams, it was just 3 draws. Do you get it? Cape Verde, 3 draws. Draw against Spain, draw against Uruguay, draw against Saudi Arabia. And then they are into the knockout stage, right?
Okay.
So it is possible for you to not play well during the group stages.
Okay.
But when it gets to the crunch, especially when there's pressure, when there's elimination at stake, when you step up, then you can be counted.
All right.
So we don't care if you get a Saudi Arabia and then you score maybe 3 goals against them.
Jordan, are you made the most most like defensive presses by a striker.
Defensive presses, yeah. He was leading by the time we're concluding the group stages.
Okay.
He was leading on that start, right? I think this time it was really fair.
Yes.
So I agree with them. For Messi, once he didn't win, there was no way he was going to get the World Cup.
Okay.
I mean, already there were some controversies in this World Cup, and I don't think that Arden Messi winning the best player or any other player outside of the winning team Spain winning the best player was going to help, right? I mean, the player gets a red card and then he gets a presidential pardon to come and play. All of those were
we call it the Balogun effect. We call it the Balogun effect.
Right. So you don't want to add to that by just giving the best players just based on vibes.
All right.
This time we are looking at the actual play and then what you are supposed to play in your area where you are supposed to play, right? And I think Rodri deserves
All right,
it.
So thank you guys. I think that Seth has rated it 8 and you've also rated it 7. I think that is fair. But for me, I would love to rate it 6.5. So that is that for you. But let's quickly move straight to the transfers. Pick one. Fatau Shahaku. Fatau Shahaku, I mean, he has signed the dotted lines for that is Ipswich Town, from Leicester City to Ipswich Town, and I'm very much happy because he's part of the Ghana contingent that we are going to see at this year's EPL. And also Tariq Lamptey, he's also signed for KPR. He had a long injury layoff when he went to Fiorentina, anterior cruciate ligament, and report that we are picking is that he'll be starting or he'll be in contention somewhere September. He started some light training in there, but September is the time for him to come into full fitness. So Fatau Shahaku, Tariq Lamptey, a good sign for them. Sibu, we are hearing that Hull City are also interested in Kwesi Sibu, but he's yet to confirm or give them the green light to join. If he's also going to be part of these players, then we are going to be very much happy seeing Ghanaian players in England. Seth, are you that happy? Are you that excited to see Shahaku back to the Premier League, joining the likes of Kudus and Semenyo? And even this Coventry boy, Brendan Thomas Asante, you're going to see him as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy he's back. I mean, he had a little stint with Leicester before they started going downhill.
Yeah.
And then they ended up in League One and all those things. And I think Leicester is just offloading all their players. I think they've like sold about 3 or 4 of their players already. They keep on
sell the team.
Yeah, sure.
They keep on but like I don't know if like the signing makes sense to me unless like they start offloading some of the players that they have at Ipswich. Like that's like about 4 different like right wingers. Like Wes Ben is like the legendary player for them that has been playing. It's like age 31. And then they have this Sindra guy. They have like, so I don't know how many right like sided players they want to play. And my fear for that is just like, if he goes and they don't offload some of the players, like the challenge is like his inconsistency and what that's to to his play, whether he's going to always have the chance to mess up and still be in there. That's why I'm very much concerned with the. But I think they made a decision when he scored them from the center line.
Yeah.
That I think that was the day they decided that
Yes, they want to go
they
for him.
wanted
Yes.
to sign him,
Sure.
and so I'm happy that he's back in the Premiership. I hope that he shows up consistently. I think he should have done better than that 9 goals, 7 assists that he made. But
Yeah.
like Leicester City was just also very, very, very,
Poor.
very bad.
Yes, they're
So
poor.
I'm happy that he's getting back. I don't know QPR for I don't love it in the Championship, but I mean his career has just been plagued with injury, so
Yeah.
I understand why he's going there to relaunch his career, but I don't know if
He's still young.
Championship and then the demands.
Yeah,
the demands is just good for his health, but hopefully he's able to get back.
Sure.
I mean, Sisibo, I don't know how he survives in the Premiership for a long time. I'm not a fan of his game.
Okay.
And so I don't know if he comes and he survives in the Premiership with the style of play that he does. But I mean, anything to get the Ghanaian players playing again is always a good thing. Brandon Thomas Asante is always going to be like the star boy for Coventry, so I'm not worried about him.
Okay.
Like the question is, does he show up and does the same thing that Semenyo did and shows progress and all those things? But like the person that I'm most excited for is Fatal for him to be back, but I'm also most worried if they don't ship off maybe 2 or 3 of the right-sided wingers. The competition is extremely tough, and for him to be in there with 4 other people competing for the same position. I think with his inconsistency, I would be very worried that if he messes up, he might end up on the bench and not have. And it will be the same thing that he did when he went to Amorim. Man used Amorim when he went to Portugal. And he couldn't really compete. He was like a bright spot talent, but he couldn't compete, and then he ended up shipping him. So.
I think it's a some way a Ghanaian thing. I don't know. As a Mudru they don't really punch above their weight to break through. We've seen maybe Semenyo and maybe Kudus try to do that, but I mean, if you talk about the day Ayew when he went to Swansea, he was just moving from Swansea, and I mean, I think one other team also in the English Premier League, he didn't really survive the difficulty in the English Premier League, as well as his brother Jordan as well. So gone are the days we used to have the likes of I think Sula Muntari at Portsmouth. We had that is Eastern at Chelsea, and even Fulham had John Painter. Olile Kingston was somewhere. I think one of those teams in there, and also John Mensah for Sunderland, Asamoah Gyan also for Sunderland and all that. Yes, you can make a lot of mentions for the Ghanaian players, but Charlie, and it doesn't look good for our national team as well. But Derek, let us look at the entire transfer and any of your pick. Bruno Gomes, Arsenal this evening. We are hearing that they've agreed 70 million with Newcastle United. Morgan Rogers has also signed a dotted line for Chelsea. British record transfer, 117 million. And even Elliot Anderson as well, moving to Manchester City. And yesterday, Phil Foden also extended his deal with Man City. Looking at that, for you, which one excites you?
Yeah, just a quick one on the Ghanaians who will be playing in the Premier League. It just shows that our talent is drying up, and not necessarily drying up, but we are not managing it well. Here in Ghana, right? We are not managing. The talent there is there, the pool is there, but the management of it such that we can push quality players through our league system and then into these European leagues,
and even our juvenile football, football,
exactly, it's something that is going down, and that's the at the end of the day, this is like the litmus test. How many of your players are playing high level football in the top 5 leagues?
And Derek, let me mention that I have a young boy at the Satellite under 20. You'll be seeing him. His name is Boniface. You'll be seeing him. I'm praying that he gets a very good tournament. Then England or one of the England teams will come for him. His name is Boniface. Just
Philip Okreku.
Philip Okreku.
Me come when you're mati. So the point be hater. Back at you say Africa. Internet doesn't forget.
Boniface,
Okay, Boniface, yeah. Yeah.
wonderful.
Mm.
Yeah, so we wish Boniface all the best, but
Yes.
the bigger problem is that our talent is not being managed well, and
Okay.
that's why they are not able to show up
Mm.
in these places. Now, the name Ghana will not be enough, right?
Okay.
You have to show working
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
now football, as I said, football has become mechanical. People are being trained how to kick the ball with tablets and then all that. So is and now it's not just about pure talent, it's about what is the technique that you are coming in with, right? Nobody is now going to show you how to play football
Sure.
again,
Sure.
or just because you can do 100 tip taps, right, it means that you are a good player. So we need to have an eye. I know we've been talking about it through the World Cup, but this is the evidence that our football is not progressing. We are actually retrogressing.
Mm.
That's why we don't have a lot of players. We can't be excited about a lot of players, quality players playing top level football in Europe. But to the other transfers, I think for Arsenal, their next target is that they want to win the Champions League. Once they've been able to break through and then win the Premier League on the fourth attempt, the obvious next step is for them to win the Champions League. And if you look at their trajectory in the Champions League, since Ateta came, first they were not qualifying. They qualified and then they got to the quarterfinals, they got to the semi-finals, and then now they lost the final itself. So clearly what they want to do is they want to get over the line when it comes to the Champions League as well. And so
Mhm.
for them to be trying to add on, initially they wanted to go for Rogers, but it didn't happen. I think Chelsea outsmarted them in terms of the price, and so they've turned their attention on Bruno. Bruno was already a target, but again, just like the same thing with Rogers, Arsenal. I would say that in the market is already smashed, right? The market
Yep.
is not following, it's not making sense anymore, right? I
Yep.
don't understand why Anderson is 100 million player, right? It doesn't make sense. It means that he's in the range of Neymar and then all these players, right? All these talented players, Coutinho and all that, right? If you look
Yep.
at it, it doesn't make sense. But and this is being enabled by teams like Chelsea because they are willing to pay because of the
Yep.
projects they are running. They think that they are happy to go in for all these young players and then pay whatever sums of money that is being required. They'll get them, tie them on to a very long-term contract, 8 years, 10 years, and then
Yep.
hope that they will resell them. So they have their model, and that's part of what is contributing to the market prices happening this way. But Arsenal is trying to be that traditional team. They want to still maintain in Ghana. We say they are still doing Pepe. So they look at the players, they look at the players on the market, and then if they feel that the valuation that your club is trying to sell them to them, it's not realistic, they walk away. And they've done that in the past few seasons. So I was not surprised that they walked away from the Rogers deal when Chelsea eventually came in. Same with the Modric deal again. As soon as Chelsea came in, they walked away. Even with Casado, again, they were interested just before Rice. It was one of the targets they were looking at. Once the other teams came in with huge sums of money that they think that didn't make sense, they walked away. But hopefully they'll be able to get this Bruno deal from Newcastle sorted out, and then once it gets sorted out, they will be able to add to their squad depth because I think that is something that had been worrying them ever since Ateta came, and they've been trying to compete on all fronts. But
Yeah.
if they are able to get that done and then they don't lose a lot of their players who are in, then I think that they will be in for a shout. in terms of retaining the Premier League and then also making the finals again for the Champions League. And who knows, maybe this time they will be able to cross over and then lift the Champions League as well. But for me, in terms of the transfers, I don't know what you think, but uh, the big one that probably is going to be sorted out or has to be sorted out is Alvarez of Atletico.
Yeah, Atletico, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you think about it, but uh, Barcelona initially wanted to go, and Atletico responded very quickly to them.
Yeah.
And then the player himself, I think his head got turned in the World Cup. He gave an interview and he said his dream is to play for Barcelona or move away from. So I don't know what is going on with that,
Yeah.
but
And
maybe
I think
after this,
I think he wants to go to Barcelona for sure. Like I think he favors a more fluid system where he would have the ability to show, because I mean, coming from Man City and going to what do you call it? Like Atletico is like a little bit of a, not a little bit, actually a very significant change from like
yeah,
Pep style of like dominant style football, tiki taka kind of thing, to like this way. It's not really working because he has to put in the defensive shift, and they are
yeah,
not really in control of the game in most of the key matches against the top opposition. So I think it's very clear that he wants to go there. The question is whether Barcelona has the ability and the money to sell. And I think if they can like offload like a Fernando, like what's the name of the guy, the Torres guy,
yeah,
if they can offload him to any team that is willing to pay, they would want to sign. I think Real Madrid got in there just to make sure like the price tag is high.
yeah,
That's so high. It was like, oh, we are approaching him. We sent in an offer, and then they knew that it was going to be rejected, and that allows like the price tag to go up high, so that Barcelona is clipped in terms of the amount of transfer that they can do within the season, because they just signed Gordon, and so
yeah.
there's not enough room for
They are
them to
tight.
maneuver. But eventually, I think if he doesn't go and they force him to stay, he will just leave like after next season. So hopefully it works out. But I think I've been impressed with the moves that Tottenham is making. I mean, they had to overhaul the whole squad,
Yeah,
getting like Tonali coming in, Matheus Fernandes coming in, says we are rebuilding the midfield. We need to rebuild the whole midfield, and
yeah,
then they've also made good additions at the back. So from where that they ended last season battling with relegation, I
yep,
think in terms of impact that the transfers is going to make, definitely is going to be Tottenham that is going to see a much bigger step change from where they
yeah,
were. I mean, Madrid has been doing a couple of moves here. My own team, Madrid, but I don't think we have solved the main problem. We are solving a little bit of like the defensive stability by
yeah. I
bringing
think the focus
in
has
there,
been
but
defensive so far in terms
defensive,
of
but
yeah. And
yeah,
and I actually like the signings because these are players that are actually going to do the work. You know, with Madrid,
yes,
it's always been who is actually doing the work for to free up the Mbappes and the Vinis, so that if they are not even tracking back, someone will be there to be able to still make the team compact. So
exactly.
Dumfries from Inter Milan,
Dumfries is
Cucurella,
in, Cucurella is in, Konate on a
Konate is
free.
also in.
So
Yeah,
it's good. It's good signings. I hope that they allow this Rodri signing to come. I know Rodri wants to come. He's
yeah,
been hinting at it, but Perez is not like a big fan of signing him. I mean, Chouameni wanted to go to Man U, and then they re-signed him up until 2031, which means he's staying. But then
yeah,
if he comes in there, then his role is what is most at risk because of the control that we need, like a cruise kind of player.
mm,
And so Rodri coming in there would help us. I mean, he's not going to be like favorable in terms of injury situation and all those things, but he gives us that calming presence,
yeah,
especially in games where we need to control. I think we still lack that control in our midfield. So if we're able to get the Rodri thing coming in there, I think we'll be balanced enough. We can put Valverde on the right, and Valverde's will be like a Mourinho signing, a winger that is willing to put in the work.
yeah,
And even if we put Bernardo Silva there, he was also willing to put in the work, and then we'll get a more of like a balance. So, I mean, I like the Arsenal move, great move to supplement the Zubimendi. Yeah, play that you have in there. So
Yeah.
it'll be good. I think some teams are making very, very good moves. But like overall, I like Tottenham because of it was very bad last season. So they need to just upgrade the whole team, and Kudus fit and getting Kudus, Tel and Xavi
Yeah.
Simons on the wings and having a stable midfield. We need to move away from this Bentancur and Sa midfield that was not progressing the ball a lot of times for them. So I'm excited for them, and
Yeah. So
I want to see them back into the
mix.
like the mix.
A quick one on Chelsea and then Man U. So they've done a deal. They like doing deals together. First it was Garnacho, now it's Andrew Santos going the other way. It looks like Man U is trying to solidify the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
For Chelsea, well, they are on their project of just buying everyone.
I still don't know. Like, and I have a question. I don't even know. Like, how are they going to do this whole? I don't know what they intend to do. Who are they going to play on the wings? Are they going to move Palmer back to the wings? Like, what do they want to do? Like, I'm still very confused.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know myself. But well, they went in for Rogers very hard, and then they got in away from going to Arsenal, and they still have a bulk of their players that they already signed last season still in there. So hopefully, well, this season they are not playing Champions League. So again, it's going to be difficult managing players if you don't have a lot of games to play, right? What it means is that you only have the Premier League and then just a few of the FA Cup or the League Cups to play and then manage all these players. But let's see how it goes. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Man, I'm excited to see what the rest of the transfer season is going to go. I mean, selfishly for my club, I want to see Rodri coming in. I mean, I wouldn't mind Olise coming, but I don't think that's going to work. I don't think. I know he promised us that he was going to get us one like big signing and all those things. I don't
Yeah,
think that's going to work. I think he should just swallow his pride and let Rodri come. He's not allowing that because his contestant said he was going to get Rodri in, so he's like,
it
okay,
looks like
like I'm not, I don't want so. But I'm excited to get like the season started and seeing the moves that people are going to make. Excited to see now that Pep is out of the will Arteta be able to defend and become the dominant
the new Pep
manager now because now almost
now he's the
everybody
old
there
guy
is like
now, right?
he's the old guy now. They are all in the same. Alonso is in there. Ex-players coming in there. It's like we've moved away from like the old guard to like this
Yeah,
new guard of like players coming, like players stepping into managerial roles. So I'm trying to see Iraola and all those things. Who is going to emerge as like create like that dominant thing? So I'm excited. Like I last season I didn't watch too much of the Premiership, but this season I want to watch. Also because Alonso is going to have time to focus on how is Arteta going to manage competing for all these things and stepping up from where he left last season,
yeah.
the demands of the thing, and then Alonso with all his like tactical ingenuity that he had in Leverkusen, how is he going to survive? So it's going to be an exciting season. I'm really excited to see how like the various leagues shape up.
All right, Seth. So excited to see how the leagues shape up. We are still in transfer season, so we'll be back next season. Hopefully, we'll see more moves happening within the transfer arena, and then we'll be back to talk all about it here on Sport Talk. So
Shout out
again,
to Philip Okreku.
yeah, shout out to Philip. Okay, cool. He left us early. He's going to manage his player, Boniface. I'll never forget him. So we'll be tracking Boniface with the under 20s. But yeah, we'll be back next week. All right. See you. Bye bye.
See ya. Bye.